Let's try that again. Hi, kitty cats. Last live stream, I got all theoretical on you about gender identity. So tonight we're going to get all practical. There are many transgender people who put off gender transition because we're afraid we're not going to do it properly. So some of us even believe if we didn't transition as a teenager, it's already too late. But you can learn how to express yourself at any age, with any body shape, any hairline, any budget. The hardest part is getting started. And I have a 4-step process that you can use right now, tonight. So let's get practical. Let's talk about how to find your gender expression and start feeling good when you look in a mirror. So let me do my live stream opening plugs. If you were watching those first 2 minutes, you'll notice first I messed up. I messed up a whole lot. This is why live streams are fun, right? I see Margie, by the way, hello, and Victoria, hello. So I am Dr. Amethysta Herrick. I am both a scientist and a content creator. I discuss identity and gender using the scientific method through the lens of a scientist. You can find out far more information about me and the work that I do at my website, which you'll see down below. It says purplepawclan.com. On that, there's a page all about me, all about Amethysta. You can find the social media networks that I'm on. You can read the articles that I write on the blog part of it. You can listen to and watch podcasts that I record with interesting people. Usually that's on the blog side. There's also a page about joining our Discord server, so you can be part of the solution by being part of the discussion. And finally, there's also a lot of information about the hypnotherapy work that I do to help people work through some of these issues with identity and gender. So if you'd like to support my work, and boy, if the last 3 minutes didn't tell you you don't, they tell you you do, I don't know what would. You can get a subscription on the website, purplepawclan.com, for as little as $5 a month. You can also sign up for a free newsletter there. It'll tell you what I'm doing on about every bi-weekly basis. And then if you just follow me on social media and like and share what I do, that would be amazing support, and I'd love it. Finally, I also publish other people's work on my website, purplepawclan.com. So if you'd like to contribute your original work on identity or gender, email me. You can use the contact page on the website, which once again, purplepawclan.com. I feel like I have lipstick on my teeth. So I'm just going to do that to find out. And I didn't. How about that? Oh, live streams. Um, this is going great. So I want to start off this particular live stream. Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this live stream? So I want to start off with a quick story first about my gender transition process, like how I did it. Before I transitioned, so I was 52 years old when I began transition. This was in 2022. I had been in science and technology for a total of 25 years at that point. So so I was building and leading teams. Oh, there's my wife who says I'm good. Thank you. Um, I had been leading teams, building teams, leading teams. We were completing software projects. So I had a background in defining projects and moving them forward. I also had the background in research, right? So I was in graduate school. That's, as a chemist, you do research in graduate school, but it was very useful in industry as well. Because when you're trying to find the right solution for a software problem, doing all of that stuff is great. Being able to do research is great. Now, I had not considered this at all, but when I decided I would do, like, really truly lean into gender transition, I did what I always did, what I had done for 30 years at that point. I turned the whole thing into a project. It was just a plan. I set top level goals. I defined key milestones, set up a rough time frame for doing things, and turned that into a big list of tasks that I could revisit on a weekly basis. If you've ever done software, maybe you're like, oh, it sounds like you were using an agile development process. Yeah, it's just what I did. I didn't think of it as any different from what I'd been doing for so long. What was lovely about that was that it kept me focused on what I wanted to do. And since I revisited the whole plan frequently, I was always able to change direction if I needed to. Now, I won't kid you, this isn't any kind of magical technique. This is literally project management. That's all it is. But what it did allow me to do is complete my social transition in like 8 months, something like that, about 8 months, maybe nine. And I completed medical transition in 2 years. Now, to be clear, I also had the financial resources to do what I wanted to do, which I know makes a huge difference. What I didn't understand at the time is that the best thing that I had, aside from the financial resources, the best thing I had was a plan that most people I spoke to were kind of stunned at how quickly I blew through some of the things I did. And frankly, I thought I was kind of plodding along. Like I didn't think I was really dropping too many tasks, into my schedule every week. I was just like, man, I'm just doing the thing. Um, but what I realized is that most people don't have a process. And if you don't have a process, it means you can't make a plan. And if you can't make a plan, that means you don't know what to do every day to move forward. And what that does to you is increase gender dysphoria tenfold because you're thinking, I'm going to do this, and then you don't. Or it doesn't happen because you're like, what do I do? Now, if you know the rest of my story, and maybe you do, because I found out that planning is one of the very weak points of gender transition, I started helping other people plan out their transition tasks. So I started connecting people with providers I had met along the way when I was doing things, people I had interviewed in podcasts. Um, you'll notice that I just spoke about hypnotherapy. This is something I ended up adding to it to help people get through this. It turns out this ability to plan, this ability to run, agile project management ended up helping many other people, which is great. So I'm going to fast forward to today. There is a relatively standard process to making a plan. It's not difficult and it's also not very special. So what I decided to do for tonight, well, forever at this point, is turn that process into a set of practical steps for anyone, hopefully you, because reaching your transition goals depends first upon knowing where you want to go. Now, I will say this at the outset. Using this plan, I cannot guarantee that you're going to reach every wish you have for transition. But I tell you, I expect you're going to reach many of your goals. And more to the point, I expect you're going to be happier than you are today without a plan. So tonight, what we'll talk about is a 4-step process to planning this whole change in your expression, in your gender. That includes finding models, studying why you think they would be models for you, learning new techniques and putting them into practice, and finally, troubleshooting. What to do when something goes wrong and how to get back on track. Just struck me I should probably open my PowerPoint presentation at some point too. All right, let me get. Oh, come on. All right, let me go on to my next thing here. Let me check some quick comments. So here we go. So here's a great question. Are we ready to get a whole lot of timid transgender folks ready to take the leap? I hope so. I know that it's very difficult to do this. There's no doubt that it's very hard to transition gender. I'm not going to pretend that this is easy. Hopefully, just having the ability to make a plan is going to do it for somebody. It's going to help. So let me see. Margie says, speaking for herself, HRT made her comfortable in her body in more ways than she could have imagined. Yeah, and not just physically, but especially emotionally. Believe it or not, I don't really want to talk about specifics like that, not necessarily HRT. I want to talk about, because those are things that you can look at and for what it's worth. I don't want to, I don't want to set anybody down a particular path. So, oh gosh, there's more people who just came in. Okay, here we go. Because let me go ahead and read them. All right, Margie says, when my egg first cracked, I anticipated taking things very slowly because I didn't see any need to rush. That approach turned around 180 degrees, right, when she realized she had the potential to breastfeed. Yeah, there you go. It was interesting. I did the same. I was like, I have no reason to rush, and that's why I felt I sort of plodded along. And it wasn't until I met other people who said, oh, I've been doing this for, 7 years. How did you do this in 8 months? That I went, oh, I didn't realize this was an actual, skill. So Charleston says, I personally found that socially transitioning helped inform them. I'm going to say them in what they wanted their next goals to be. Took a few years to figure out what medical intervention they wanted, since they're non-binary. What a great point! Definitely a great point. Um, I was saying to somebody today, I believe the best thing you can do is explore who you are. I think that, and this process here that I'm going to go through, I think is all about exploration. It's really all about exploration. Victoria is making a few things there. Step three, and the hello, das Orangensaft. I have no, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say it, but hello, good to see you. Um, so let's see. Here's the first step. The first step is not to think about yourself at all. Right? So maybe going, wait a minute, I was transitioning gender. No, throw yourself out of this process for a moment. The first step is to think about the people. Think about the behavior. Think about the voices. Think about what you find ideal. Why are we going to start here? There's a good reason for it. As soon as I find a thing here. Um, why do we start here? Because when you're creating a long-term plan, and gender transition is going to be a lifelong thing. You're going to be exploring this the rest of your life. When you create a long-term project plan, you have to know your long-term goals. This is kind of like your high-level map. If you had like a globe kind of thing, right? You don't have like a detailed roadmap, but you have like a globe or something. You may not know how you're going to get to your destination, but you can go, well, I know I'm going like that away. That's what this does. So you sit down and you think about the people you'd like to be. I don't care how long it takes, a week, 2 weeks, when you watch television, when you look on social media, maybe if you're one of those weird people still using those antiquated, books and magazines, whatever that's all about, think about who stands out. Who stands out to you? The reason why they stand out to you is because you admire them or you want to emulate them in some way. It is possible it's the exact opposite, but for the most part, when you're looking at gender expression, um, you admire them, you want to emulate them in some way. So you'd like some characteristic that they have. Now, we're not going to think about the characteristics just yet. The first step, take some time, find people, get pictures of them, songs that they sing, maybe books that they're in, whatever you got. Social media posts, I don't care. Write it down, put it somewhere. Is the thing, put it somewhere, because you're going to use this later. This is the foundation of the whole thing. Now, it is important, I'm going to tell you right here, it is very important to dream big. We aren't, at this point, we're not deciding whether or not we can be like somebody else. Let that go. What we're deciding is that we'd want to be like somebody else. Find those people who radiate masculinity or femininity or gender fluidity. Find the people that radiate what you look at and you go, yes, that, yes. Find the people you think of as ideal models of gender expression, of femininity, masculinity, fluidity. It doesn't make a difference, but find those people. Oh, hi, Comrade Julie. um, Here is a very important point. You don't have to share this with anybody else. In fact, actually, to be clear, if you can prevent it, even if just at first, don't share it with anyone else. The reason why is you don't want to be influenced by other people's opinions. You are looking for your authentic sense of masculinity, femininity, fluidity. If you bring other people in, they might make you discard someone or something because they don't fit traditional styles of beauty. And the thing is, we at this point we don't want to give a damn about social norms. What we're doing is digging deep into you to find the people that you admire. Now I'm going to do a quick demo along with this lecture. This is probably, let's hope this thing works. Shoot. I forget how to do this thing too. Slideshow. Um, Crap, probably should have done this. Shoot, how is it? Oh, set up. Here we go. In an individual window. There we go. No, that's certainly not working the way I expected. All right, let me see if this will work. PowerPoint. Excellent. It is not. Let's get that set up. PowerPoint slideshow. There we go. Yay. All right, go on this side. PowerPoint slideshow. Okay. Now, if I go back to this guy here, we're going to look at, these are some people that I think about when I think about, that's not looking great. These are people that I think about when I was thinking about gender expression. This is in no particular order. You know, these are three people I pulled out of my head really quickly. I tried to think about just three people. One who always, whom I loved is Marilyn Monroe. Always did. So Marilyn Monroe is in there. I also just recently, I was like, well, just tonight, I was like, well, who else? What else did I miss? Jennifer Coolidge came to mind somewhat quickly. Thought, okay, we'll throw her in. I threw in Taylor Swift because why not? It doesn't, at this point, like I said, we're not trying to make this perfect. What we're trying to do, can I make this a little better? Here we go. Whatever. All right. What we're trying to do is find people that we think are, have ideals, people that we would like to emulate. I wonder if this will ever turn out right. No, it's really not going to. Okay. These are three people I admire. Three people I think of when I think about femininity. Three people to a certain extent that I wish I could be like. How? Well, we'll get there. Why not? We'll get there. So here we go. That's step one. So let me see. Let me go back to my thing here. There we go. So let me check some really quick comments here. So here we go. Here's some lyrics from Margie. You don't have to be like everybody else. You don't have to fit into the norms. You are not here to conform. And I think that's an exceptional point. When you're doing this, when you're looking for models, make sure that they are the people you care about. Do not go only for social norms. Don't go, oh, you know what? My mom thought this person was good. I'll go for that person. Not worth it. You want this to be about you. All right, so now we can go to step two. That's step one. So we gathered a database, right? Let's think of it like that. We gathered sort of like a database full of, full of data, full of people who that you can start off thinking about. Now that you have this set of people that you admire, and again, think of it again like these are people that you like to emulate for whatever reason, and you don't have to know them at this point. They don't have to be classic beauties. They don't have to be classic manly men. They have to be what you personally like, period. So here's step two. Step two, what makes these models ideal? Look at these models. What is it that you look at and you go, oh, that's feminine or that's masculine? Doesn't have to be physical traits. Let me make that clear. It can and it should include behavior or voice, the way they walk, the way they act, things like that. Why are we doing this in particular? We're doing it because when we defined long-term goals by finding the people we admire, now we're going to go down one step. We're going to define, from a project standpoint, they're called key milestones. Thank you for my management career there. We're looking at a more granular level. The point is for you to know more abstractly what you'd like to express. What makes these people ideal for you? Once again, at this point, don't be worried about whether you can express anything. Don't be worried about whether you can. We're worried about the qualities you could express, the qualities that you admire, that you see in your models, and really study them. It's pretty easy just to go, well, this one's got blonde hair, and then go from there. No, really study them, okay? Also, what's important here is look for qualities that are shared by some of these people you choose. If you have qualities that show up multiple times, That means something. You need to use that, okay? So really, really look deeply at the photographs you have, the songs you have, the books, the magazines, whatever. What is it about, say, their hair? What is it about, say, their makeup? Do you like the clothes that they're wearing in that photo? Is it their body shape, their body style? Is it facial structure, the way their eyes look? Is it the way they act in a particular movie, the way they laugh? Is it the way they talk or the way they sing? You're going to have to do some thinking here. Um, Maybe you haven't identified what you think is masculine or feminine. And I think this is common for in people who transition gender. Very often we're like, okay, we're going to go transition gender, and then you go, well, what do I do first? Do I grow my hair? Do I get clothes? What clothes do I get? Oftentimes, I think we haven't defined what it is, identified, that's the better word, identified what we think is feminine or masculine. And so now you're going to, because that's how goals get accomplished. These key milestones. So you've set up these top level goals. You go, I'd like to look like Marilyn Monroe. What does looking like Marilyn Monroe mean? Again, you're not going to think about whether you can or can't. These are qualities that you're going to shoot that you think about shooting for in yourself. Now let's go back to mine. Let me see. Hopefully this is going to look a little better. It's going to look better. Damn. I don't know how to make this look better either, and that's a bummer. What if I do that? If I make it big again, does it look better? No, it looks the same. Thanks a lot. All right. If you look at these, can you see them all? Oh, good. At the very least, you have, the very least, all of my words are there. Oh, shoot. I didn't realize I had left up that comment. So if you look at these, there's some pretty obvious commonalities. You can see they all have blonde hair. I mean, makes sense. I grew, when I was growing up, I was blonde. I grew up blonde. Um, so, I like blonde hair. Only two of them, however, are curvy, right? Marilyn Monroe is curvy. Jennifer Coolidge is curvy. Taylor Swift, not so much. So, there's something that I go, I don't know, maybe not. Um, Two of them have very breathy voices, right? Marilyn Monroe had the very breathy voice. Jennifer Coolidge is known for her breathy voice, but Taylor Swift is not. Interesting. All of them have very striking makeup. I'm going to get to your point, Elle. So thank you so much. All of them have striking makeup. Two of them have been in comedy films. All of them have done some dancing. All three of them are pretty girly girls. They're not butch, really. And here's a bit of behavior. All three of them smile very easily. Marilyn Monroe loved to smile. Jennifer Coolidge loves to smile. Taylor Swift, you always see her having fun. So these are qualities that when I think about what makes me like somebody like Marilyn Monroe, I think about her hair, I think about her body style, I think about her voice, the makeup that she always had, the way that she acted, her ability to sing and dance, her ability to have fun. So these are the things that I personally, anyway, have been thinking about. I'm going to go back to this so that I can take a couple of comments here. So first, hi, Elle. Elle says she had a friend who was transitioning at a similar time and started copying. Oh, Elle, interesting. Every aesthetic and interest. I think it was because she really liked Elle, this person, but when I noticed it, it was really annoying. Oh, I believe that. Yeah, that would be almost kind of creepy for what it's worth. But there you go. Um, Gosh, I got to tell you, I haven't seen this movie, but gender goals right here, right? Somebody wearing a flowing robe and our flag means death. Yeah. Um, that's something, right? Here, I think is a fabulous point. Elle is saying, I think it is a dangerous path to desire a look based on certain features, like someone's face or body shape, because it's very hard to change underlying bone structure to match another person. Agreed. And I will get there. Again, the point in doing this is not to decide whether or not you can do this. The point is to go, what is it I like? What would be my goals? Because I think one of the biggest problems that many of us face is not even being able to get started to go, well, what should I do? Do I go out and buy some blush? who knows? Do I want to wear makeup? I mean, what do I do? And so that's sort of the point. I don't disagree that trying to emulate somebody exactly is going to work out well. It won't always. Agreed. And I'm going to get there. So hold on to this if you don't mind. All right, the next thing that you want to talk about, that you want to think about, but as long as I got a moment, I'll do my FCC mandated station identification. I am Dr. Amethysta Herrick. I am a scientist and a content creator. I look at identity and gender through the lens of the scientific method. And today what we're doing is talking about a 4-step process that you can use to discover some of the ways that you can express your gender the way that you would like. All right, so let's get to step 3. Here's step 3, which is not profit. Step 3 is thinking about why your models are ideal. I mentioned something like blonde hair, smiling easily, uh, curvy bodies, whatever. Now we have a set of gendered qualities. All right, now the qualities are not necessarily which you can emulate. So what we have to do next is break it down a little bit further. Why are these qualities masculine? Or why are these qualities feminine? What this does, and to Elle's point here, the purpose is to find tangible steps that you can take. We have qualities. We have a set of qualities. What do these qualities mean? What is inherent in those qualities? Is there some way to emulate them? Now, let me go back to that list, by the way, okay? Where is it? Here we go. To go back to this list, can I emulate blonde hair? Sure, that's easy. Can I emulate being in comedy films? Likely not. But that wasn't really the point. The point was to say, I liked Marilyn Monroe in comedy films. I liked Jennifer Coolidge in comedy films. These are people who made me laugh. Is there another quality, or is there something? Is there a characteristic of that quality that I'm really focused on? What is a girly girl? Is that somebody who wears makeup? I mean, what is that? So you look at these things and you're right. I can't emulate these. These are not actionable tasks. These are qualities that I go, this would be great if I could get to, but just because I've got them doesn't mean that they're actionable. So here we go. So this is why we're doing this. The purpose is to find some of these tangible steps. Now what we have to do is look for techniques. And these are techniques, I want to make this super clear, techniques that the models may actually, I don't want to say models, but the ideal people you're thinking of, techniques they may actually be using to appear ideal to you. Let me pop this back up. Striking makeup. There are techniques there. Dancing. Well, there are techniques there. Breathy voices. Definitely techniques there. So when you think about this, do we have to figure out, makeup techniques? Do we have to figure out how clothes just end up fitting on a body, period? Do we have to think about how to emulate a voice? Do we need to practice behaviors or gestures? Are there gestures to emulate? Before we go further and pull up my thoughts here, once again, please do not think about whether you personally believe that you can emulate these qualities. If you start off thinking that you can't, if you look at this and you go, well, I'm never going to be able to do makeup that well, you're not going to look for ways in which you can. So don't worry about whether you personally believe you can emulate them. What you're going to do is a bit of research to go, is there some way I could? How are they doing it? How are these people doing it? That's what's important. Think very openly. Yes, this is starting to come down to you and your expression, definitely. But you need to allow yourself to explore very freely. Don't limit yourself when you're looking at techniques. There are a ton of techniques. Now we can go back to my models here. Techniques. Here's one thing I learned, believe it or not, when I was like 10 years old. Marilyn Monroe's smile technique. I wish I could remember the photographer. I kind of want to say it was Bunny Breckenridge, but yeah, Breckenridge. Um, but it may not have been. One of the things that, if you look at very early photographs of Marilyn Monroe, um, her lip is higher. She's smiling and she's like this. And she learned. The person said you'll smile. Your smile will be so much nicer if you lower your lip. I'm not trying to exaggerate it here. Not to mention, you also I have a small picture of myself, so maybe not the best the best thing to do. But that was a technique. When I started transition, I was like, now I need to do this. I need to try that. Right? Here is a technique. A technique would be sort of a smoky kind of voice, a Jennifer Coolidge kind of voice. You could probably work on that. Um, Making fun of yourself. I mentioned comedy films. Being able to have fun, being able to laugh, being able to laugh at yourself. That's something. I mentioned striking makeup. I don't know how well you can see the Taylor Swift photograph here, but she has liquid eyeliner. All three of them are wearing liquid eyeliner. Taylor Swift has these great wings going off on the sides of her eyes. At the very least, Taylor Swift and Marilyn Monroe are wearing bright red lipstick. I can find bright red lipstick. All three of them have some sort of flowing curly hair. Marilyn's is pretty short right there, but they have curly, loose, open sort of hair. You can see that Jennifer Coolidge is wearing sort of this curve fitting dress. And all three of them have a confidence. Look at all three of them. Marilyn Monroe is completely open. She's like, I'm here for you. You're taking a photo. I'm here. I think that picture of Jennifer Coolidge is from American Pie. Yeah, was it American Pie where she's like, seducing the guy? And Taylor Swift, I think, pretty much always looks confident. Do you know what's interesting, by the way? I really care for Taylor Swift. I look at her and I go, there are things I would emulate, but I'm not like a fan of her music. That didn't make a difference to me when I was thinking about this. What makes a difference is that she has qualities that I would like to emulate. So there you go. So that's one thing. So we've gotten to step 3 here, which is break these down into actual tangible, possible things to try. You'll notice curvy bodies not on there, right? You can't just try to have one. You can try curve-fitting dresses, but you cannot just emulate a quality curvy directly. Okay, we're getting toward the end here. Let me check comments. Here we go. So Margie says she can't think of any particular gender models that she pursued. It's been a more abstract, anarchic process for her. Her fashion sense is like nobody in particular. She's just me. Do you know what though? Like if I were to think about you, I don't know if you ever saw, was it Miss Frizzle, Mrs. Frizzle? I don't know. There's always and then there's an Aunt something. You always have like an Aunt Joan or something like that. The crazy Aunt Joan who has, like a weird flower. Minnie Pearl did this to a certain extent. You like I can think of characters who are not you, but sort of similar kind of you. So anyway, the reason why I think it's important to get tangible models is so that you can look at them and study them. I appreciate that you have the ability to start off and go, well, abstractly, I think I'd like to do these kinds of things. That's a much more difficult step to take for what it's worth. Then she goes on to say she thinks she has most of her progress by discarding the awkward masking and just having fun with herself. That ultimately ends up being the point. You absolutely have to have fun with this. And that's why this process, I think, ends up being important because you don't think about whether you can do it yet. You think about ultimately get down to tangible steps, but the way you're doing this, you're like, what kind of things could I possibly be? What would I love to do? So I remember your bit, Margie, her bit, sorry, that wasn't what I was going to say here. Margie was mentioning about a feminine heel-toe gait. She's brought this up in the Discord server, if you're in the Discord server, and if you're not, come on by. But Margie says, here we go, heel to toe is her natural gait. And so, one of the things she had to do was get rid of it and then bring it back as she started transition. So that's an interesting point. Um, so here's a point. Yes, I said you can't just have a technique for a curvy body. Not strictly true, right? There's shapewear, there's padding. Charleston brings up padding for curves, is a historical and time honored practice. We should bring it back. I won't kid you, I definitely have a beautiful corset. I have a few waist trainer type things. I mean, there are things that I do. Absolutely. That being said, if I were like Taylor Swift, I mean, she could pad, I suppose, to look like a Jennifer Coolidge or something. But like, I think it's important, don't. Those are techniques, if that makes sense. So just going curvy body. How do I emulate this? The way you do it is with padding, shapewear. Those are techniques, and I didn't write them down because, for what it's worth, I while I enjoy wearing it for the most part, I don't do it every day because I live at home and or I work at home and here I am. And hi Thistle, good to see you. All right, we're at the actual end here. We've gone through the who, right? We've gone through the who. Where am I? My four. This is great. Who are your gender models? Here's some who. Who would you like to emulate? Whom would you like to emulate? Then we went to the what. What makes these people worth emulating? What are their qualities? Then we went to why. Why are these qualities ideal? Why are these qualities something that they would manifest? So it's techniques now. Now we can finally get to the how. How can you emulate these models? We are finally ready. Only took me 40 minutes. We're finally ready to do some experimentation. Choose one of the techniques. One. Listen to me. One. Okay? Do not try them all at once. You'll be overwhelmed. Take one small technique and try it. Try it. Victoria is saying, step four, her favorite step, because it's profit. Why only one at a time? Some of this comes from the scientific method, okay? Experimentation. When you're designing an experiment, you can only change one thing at a time in order to measure the effect of changing that thing clearly. Throw that point out. What it means is that, I mean, don't throw it out because, if you're a scientist, maybe you like that. If you change too many things at once, you can't tell what was successful. If you try like 6 different things at once, you're going to go, I don't know, maybe you look at a picture of yourself and you go, that was terrible. Maybe your makeup was great and it was just the dress that wasn't so good. Maybe your lip color rocked, let's say. You went in with a great lip color, but your eyeliner was kind of meh. You don't want to do too many things at once. Maybe your walk was amazing. There's a beautiful heel toe gait, you know, but this time you weren't wearing heels like actual, you're wearing sneakers, and you go, it didn't work out well. This is purely about experimentation, okay? Purely about experimentation. Um, who's the 20 seconds in the future? There is one more point about going slowly, because I know you want to do this quickly. I did. There is one more point about going slowly, and that is that you can have more compassion for yourself. This is huge. You have spent all your life waiting to get to this point, okay? Have compassion for yourself. Try one thing. I know that's 2 fingers. Try one thing. Figure out how you like it. And when you figure this out, sorry, as you try to figure this out on you, it's going to take time. I'll guarantee you're going to have to practice. You're going to have to practice some more, and then you're going to have to practice one more time. But if, let's say, when you master that one step, now you can use it. And I will tell you there is nothing that builds confidence like doing something well. I don't care if the only thing you've got, right, you're presenting the rest of you as masculine, but you've learned the shit out of eyeliner. That will give you confidence because you're like, hey, now I can take on the next task. In fact, maybe you go, I'm going to present like this for the rest of my life. I'm always going to wear this eyeliner, even if I change nothing else. It will give you the energy to go after the next technique. Now, I'm not going to kid you. Those other 3 steps were abstract. You were having fun. You were, looking at other people. You were writing things down. doing some research, learning about techniques, learning about clothes and makeup, shapewear, padding. This is the hardest step. I will guarantee at this point you'll have a lot of ideas, and now you have to try to make them real. The hardest step for me in looking for clothes was going to a shop and trying them on. It was so hard. I mean, I went with my wife several times because, it's just so hard to go somewhere and try something on because I was afraid. I was afraid somebody was going to go, hey, you get out of here, right? You have to buy makeup, learn how to apply it. I won't kid you, too, boy, with makeup, like there are a bajillion techniques. There are a bajillion different kinds of makeup. There are a bajillion different brushes you could use. There are bajillion different ways you could use those brushes to put it on your face. It's hard. If you're looking at masculinity technique, ways to become more masculine, maybe you have to go and figure out how to go to a gym, how to lift weights, what are you trying to build up? Is it pecs? Is it legs? What is it? If you wanted more natural shape, maybe you go, oh, I've got to build up my butt, my butt muscles. So maybe you're going to go to a gym. This is going to be hard. It's going to be hard. So here's a tip. You have to be willing to try anything. I know what you're doing. You're going, anything? Yes. Anything. Anything. Might be something you figure only kids should do. It could be, because here's the thing. Sometimes you're going to try something. You thought it was going to be awful, and you go, huh. I mean, that's what happened when I dyed my hair black when I was 20, whatever, 4. Yeah. Um, and then it happened again when I dyed my hair purple. Sometimes you think it's going to be something you think is going to be kind of awful, works out great. And sadly, sometimes the opposite is true as well. You go, oh my gosh, I know very well I'm going to look awesome, let's say with liquid eyeliner. And then you put it on and you go, well, that was wrong. Fuck. But here's the point. You cannot know how a technique will work. Okay, say it again. You cannot know how a technique's going to work unless you're willing to try it. And it's going to, it might be good. It might turn out in a way you think is good. It might turn out in a way you think is bad. But here's the point. You still have to try it. So try everything, try anything. This is a whole circle of trying here. Just try something. So experiment, start off with an experiment, try anything. Then you have to evaluate it. Does this look the way you wish? If it doesn't, if maybe it just seems shaky, then you have to practice. And that practice is a form of experimentation all over again. So it's just going in a circle. You're going to try something. Did that work? Is there a way I can make it better? Let me try it again and again and again. I'm going to tell you a quick story about makeup. When I was a kid, when I was 20 some odd, I was experimenting with makeup all over the place. And I did some pretty, elaborate type stuff. I used to do, Neil Gaiman looking makeup. It was good fun for me. Other people were probably like, what the hell's wrong with you? So the thing is that I did a ton of makeup. So when I started transition, I was like, well, this will be easy, right? But there was a big difference between my 24-year-old face and my 52-year-old face. And so all the things that I thought this is going to be awesome, I went, oh God, no. Like, oh my gosh, no. So what I did was I put on, I actually hired somebody. I hired a makeup artist. And I said, tell me, what would work with my face. And one of the things he said was, well, we have to know your colors, with your skin color. There's a lot of color theory involved in makeup. So there's something there. But he said, we have to know a ton of stuff. And then he said, he gave me some techniques. And I spent like a few days, I would put on makeup, and then I would take it off. And then I put it back on, and then I would take it off. And I would do this a few times because I was like, well, let me just keep trying a bunch of different things. This is the only way to learn. When you, a lot of us think that that you have to learn these things when you were 13. But you know how you learn them when you're 13? You do it badly. Somebody goes, let me tell you, don't do that. Do this instead. And then you get better. It's no different if you're starting later in life. I swear. All right, let me check a few comments here. I only have one more point left to go. That was step 4, but that's not exactly the whole profit. I'm telling you. Margie says she wished she had a good corset. There is a company called Orchard Corset. Orchard Corset. That's the one that I have. I won't kid you, they're not cheap, but they're very, very good. And they have an exceptional. They don't want to sell you something that you're not going to wear. Uh, they have an exceptional set of videos to find out how to fit yourself with a corset, men and women for that matter, because they're like, they think that men could use them too, back support, if nothing else, posture, good posture. Um, the point is that those videos can help you out in other ways, because when you're measuring yourself for a corset, you find out certain things about your body, like whether it's hourglass shaped or not, and whether it's squishy, so that you could squish it into an hourglass shape. So it's fascinating. Those are great videos, and I'm just recommending those. But there you go. Here's another great point. So Elle says, especially in response to, I didn't want to go to a shop and try things on. She tried lots of different cheap clothes from Shane, uh, just so she could experiment with styles until she found a style that suited her. Unfortunately, that's what you got to do. You're going to have to go and try on a bajillion different kinds of clothing. I ended up finding with my pretty broad hips and big, huge butt, um, it helps me to have a slightly longer top. Like I didn't want to tuck things in because otherwise I looked like I was the Pillsbury Doughboy. So that took some trying though. Uh, Also, here's the thing: your friends will probably think that they're helping you out, but sometimes your friends don't. So, but this is a great idea. Buy a bunch of cheap clothes if you can. That would be awesome too. Um, Margie says it in a different way. Go thrifting. Yeah, it's very. Margie says her weapon of choice for experimentation. Weapon of choice. We're in the middle of a Fat Boy Slim song. So Margie says it's powerful trying on clothes. Yeah. Oh, and then actually goes on to say doing that was what finally exploded her egg in 2022. Thrift shops, I think, are good because you generally have people who go in there and they're just like they don't care that much. If you go into like if you go into Macy's, if you go to Bloomingdale's, you might have somebody who goes, "Are you supposed to be in here?" A thrift shop, people are generally much more accepting. And I'm stereotyping based on people with money. Prove me wrong, I guess, is what I'm gonna say. So there you go. Um, Here we go. So let me see. Oh, Angela's here. Hi, Angela. Um, I don't know where Cairns is, but Elle says thrifting in Cairns is a bit limited. The op shops here don't have much. And what's an op shop? What does op mean? It's usually lots of singlets, shorts, and t-shirts. Oh, wow. Yeah, results of living in the tropics. It's a good point. One of the things that I loved, that I love, are like these A-line dresses, so relatively high waist, and then go out in a full skirt. I love those kinds of things. You don't find that anywhere. Like at a thrift shop, you might, but that's about it. Of course, you can buy a bunch of things on Shane or on Amazon or something, but I'm gonna stand with Margie. Um, if you can go to a thrift shop, that would be great. And here's another one. So Vinted and ThredUp. Um, these are online secondhand retailers. I mean, for that matter, you got Etsy. Yeah, no, Poshmark. There we go. Poshmark is the one that I've used. I've bought some boots from there. I think that was about it. But um, so here we thank you, Angela. Oh my gosh, I didn't think I had that many comments. Sorry, I'll get there. Angela says in her teens, her dress sense was really bad, but with time and practice, she got better by observing women, and that's really all you can do. That's really all you can do is look at other women and go, I wonder how that would look on me, or other men. I wonder how that would look on me. What do we got? In my I love this. So Charleston says in their 20s they enjoyed painting a beard on their face in watercolor, just for them when they were at home. I like that. I won't kid you. I mean, there were definitely times when I was a graduate student that I put on lipstick or whatever, because I think that's pretty sweet. I think that's pretty sweet. Um, oh, here you go. Great. Here, this is a great point too. If you buy something, don't toss them. Like if you go, okay, I'm done wearing this, don't toss them. Donate them. There are so many shops. So like I'm in Colorado. There's a place in Denver. Transgender Center of the Rockies. Is that TCOR? Is that right? I think it's Transgender Center of the Rockies. They have um, they have a like a shop, like a trade kind of shop. Do that because it's so hard for all of us to figure out how to do this. Um, yeah, and here you go. This is you want proof? Angela had to go out and try on female clothes on her own. That's tough. Very tough. It's not hard, or it's not easy. Sorry. Um, That being said, as Victoria says, there are online tutorials for everything. Everything. You want makeup techniques, you want gym techniques, go put something into a search engine, put it into a streaming platform. You're going to find bajillions of them. That's a technical term, bajillions. Um, hey, Ella is here now. Hi, Ella. Okay, so Op Shop is Aussie New Zealand terminology. Oh, Opportunity Shop. Oh, I like that. That's cute. All right. Oh, here we go. I'm going to pop this up because it's nice. Margie says she'll plug her dear friend, Kendall Malchuk. Hope I said that right. Who is brilliant and has amazing fashions. There's a link right there that you'll see, kendallmade.com. It's showing up terribly on the video, but here we go. It's amazing how much and how little you can wear at the same time. All right, let me go to the last bit. Okay, we did who, yeah, we did who, we did what, we did why, and we just did how. What about when things don't go as planned? What happens if things don't go the way you hoped? Let me pop back up my PowerPoint. If we look at the techniques that I listed, I do use Marilyn's smile technique. I just mentioned it. That's great, I love it. But my voice isn't smoky. Not all the time. If you've done a hypnosis session with me, you'll know my hypnosis voice, which is very different from any other voice that I use. So my voice isn't smoky all the time. I do make fun of myself, I think. I have a good time, right? I love to have a good time. I do use liquid eyeliner. I love it, but look at Taylor Swift's eyeliner. She has the wings. I don't have wings on my eyeliner. Um, I don't wear red lipstick. You may be looking at me going, God, you love red lipstick, but what? You're wearing like nothing, and I'm wearing a very neutral shade. I do have curly hair, open flowing hair, but I don't have it too long. I already mentioned I tend to wear poofy skirts, right? Because it's my big butt. And I try to be confident. That's difficult. So what happened? As far as voice goes, I played around with a bunch of them, and I use a more defined voice because I think it suits me better. It's just weird for me to try to have a more breathy voice because it just doesn't sound right for me. If you listen to this and you look at me now, you're going, who the hell is this? I don't even know. The breathy voice just doesn't work. I don't have wings on my eyeliner because I have hooded eyelids. I have hooded eyelids. It's something that it's just something that's true about me. Red lipstick. It's really just too much for me. Ironically, I thought about this too because the thumbnail for this video, I'm wearing like bright red lipstick. A professional makeup artist put that on me. It was like the one time in my life I looked at myself and I went, "Holy cats!" Bright red lipstick kind of worked on me. Look at that. I don't wear my hair long because when it gets about shoulder length, I feel like my face gets lost in it now with this purple hair. Um, my body does have an hourglass-like shape. Like I said, go to Orchard Corset, you'll be able to figure that whole thing out. And I could really stand to lose weight. I'm not the same shape as Jennifer Coolidge there, and I recognize that. So here's the point. Let me go back to my talking head here. Sometimes you are going to come up against physical limitations. I mean, I did. I do. Our bodies just don't do what you wish. Maybe you're tall, you wish you were shorter. Maybe you have broad shoulders, you wish you didn't. Maybe you have a flat butt and you don't know how to make it bigger. Maybe you're short and you wish you were taller. You wish you were a baller. Wish you had a girl with a phone you could call her. Sometimes your body is just not going to do what you wish. It sucks. Sometimes we come up against behavioral limitations. What we thought was going to feel natural, like a breathy voice for me, feels forced. For me, it feels forced. It just didn't work for me. Sometimes we come up against social limitations. Social limitations. You're going to go out. Are you going to go out and try on clothes at the shop? Maybe you're not confident enough, at least not yet. And of course, I'm not going to pretend. Sometimes it's purely financial. These are places where you've got to make a decision. You can keep practicing. That's the thing. You can always practice. You can always try it again. There's a bajillion techniques. I said you can keep practicing. You can keep hoping. You can keep studying. You can keep looking for new techniques. At some point, if you get tired of studying, finding new techniques, you may need to accept that you're not going to be everything you ever wish you could be. You can accept that you won't be everything you wish you could be. And this goes all the way back to the very beginning when Elle said, it's kind of dangerous to look at other people and use them as models. It's not dangerous because ultimately, this is my point, I don't believe it's dangerous because at some point we can keep trying, or at some point to accept that yes, we're not going to be the way that is, but let that be the choice after trying. Don't look at something and go, I'm not going to be able to do it. Go through the process of what it takes to figure out how that person makes it happen, and then try it. And if you go, okay, it didn't work, then at least you know that you gave it a shot. And I want to make a big, huge point here. Big, huge point. These are not failures. Okay, they're not failures. At this point, I don't look like Marilyn Monroe. Like, I recognize that, right? Because she had purple hair. She had blonde hair. You may not look like Marilyn Monroe. You may not sound like Jennifer Coolidge. I don't. You may not, have as much money as Taylor Swift. She's got a lot of money. But you have most certainly found ways to express yourself that you didn't have before. And you know what that means? You're going to be happier, period, than if you didn't do anything. The best thing about all of this is that the process never ends. You can try new things forever. You can continue to go to, streaming platforms looking for techniques. You can look at people on the streets. You could do so much. You can try new things forever. And that is the beauty of being human. Identity never stops developing. You will never stop this. You can keep on becoming more like your ideal every single day. And what that means is that you get to love yourself more and more every single day. And that's the purpose of life. Finding ways to love yourself more and more every single day. So when things don't go as planned, you try something else, but you keep moving forward. So now it's time for you to do this. I will tell you, I know for a fact, you are capable to make changes. And if you have a need for help, if you wish for help, if you just want somebody to bounce ideas off, reach out to me, because this is what I do. You keep moving forward and you love yourself. That was all I had planned for the evening. Can't believe it took an hour. Let me plow through some of these. Oh my goodness, there's a whole lot of comments here. Let me see. Hi, Ella. Oh, here's King Artemis. Hello, King Artemis. How are you doing? King Artemis says his thrifting strategy is, oh, this is cute. I hope it fits. The success rate is mixed. Absolutely. King Artemis, forgive me too. I don't give me pronouns. I did mess that up. Yeah. See, here we go. Margie says that's her thrifting strategy. It's a good one. Um, this is a good point too. Here's a great thing. So, Ella says that even Goodwill is like that. If they don't have like rooms where you can go and try things on, if you keep the receipt, generally you can bring things back. A good tip here: don't take the tags off. Take the tags off when you know that it fits you. Don't otherwise, don't bother with it. Um, Ella says liquid eyeliner is such a pain. Um, Here's the thing. You really cannot do gothic makeup. And I'm sure there's somebody out there who's going to go, "You're wrong." I don't think you can do gothic makeup without liquid eyeliner. If for no other reason than that's what you have to put on your lips. Right? You can't you have to have something that's going to stay on your lips. If you put a little bit of chapstick on your lips, whatever lip balm, and then use liquid eyeliner on your lips, especially if you seal it with like some lip lacquer, you can put pretty much anything in your mouth and that black lipstick's not coming off. I'm just saying, trust me on that. Liquid eyeliner is worth liquid eyeliner is worth learning how to do. Um, One of the things that I found I had to do. Where's my mic? Oh, it's on that side. One of the things I found I had to do was either brace something on my face, like my hand on a face, or I have a table right there, and oftentimes what I do is I'll put my whatever these things are called on the table, elbow, and that helps too. And for what it's worth, when I'm doing liquid eyeliner, oftentimes I'll also hold something and I'll move my face a little bit. So these are just things you play around with them. But liquid eyeliner is well worth well worth learning. Let's just say that. Oh, come on. Now Margie says she's a disaster zone around liquid eyeliner. Oh well, that's me. Um, I will tell you if you guys care. I don't know. Well, it's put away. I use a liquid liner called NYX Epic Ink. I think it's called. It's got a like the brush is integrated into like a whole pen kind of thing, which is good. The thing about the brush is that it's not felt. It's like fibers. And those fibers mean that it's very flexible. And so you can use that to change the width of the line. Like if you probably can't tell here, but with my eyeliner, it's always thick out at the edge, and then it comes in and it tapers right into the corner of the eye there. Um, it's just what I like. I happen to see it on Marilyn Monroe, I'm sure, some 50s person. And so that's what I do. And that little brush thing is awesome. The brush thing helps so much. It's truly amazing. There we go. So sorry, that was liquid eyeliner. Mascara, definitely. Mascara is great. Here's something just if you care. I When I got that professional makeup artist, which I did it for a photo shoot, so it's not like something that I would do every day. Okay, sorry. There were two times I had a makeup artist. One was when I said, teach me some techniques, and you can do this at like a Sephora or like an Ulta. You can go to a shop and go, can you teach me some makeup techniques? I actually paid a guy who was a makeup artist just to teach me some techniques. The other thing I was going to say though is when I got a photo shoot done, so this was almost a year ago now, um, I had a professional hair and makeup done. Well, professional makeup. She ended up asking me, do you want me to put uh, fake lashes on you, like strip lashes on you? And I said, oh my God, it would take 2 hours, I'm sure. Don't worry about it. And she goes, no, it's easy. And I went, wait, really? So she put them on me and it literally took 5 minutes because it is really easy. And so there's something that I would say too. I started wearing fake eyelashes because it's actually much easier than like trying to get the mascara well enough. I also have I'm not going to roll over there and get it, but I have a makeup eyelash comb. This is what we called it 40 years ago. Um, what do they call it? Lash separator now. That's critical. Let the mascara dry. I mean, if you're going to let it dry or mostly dry, you can use a lash separator and that, Not only does it make it look bigger, um, it's not clumpy, so that's cool. But if you wear fake eyelashes, like I do now, you don't even have to bother with mascara because usually they're darker than my lashes, which are pretty blonde. So there you go. That's another thing. I love whatever, fake eyelashes. I'm a big huge fan of them. They're a lot of fun. Um, this is interesting. So here we go. Here's Angela's story. When her mother first found her stash of clothes, oh, she was really angry. And it was because Angela didn't have the courage. Oh gosh, Angela said she'd get rid of them, but soon, of course, got a new stash. This seems common, right? We go out and we buy some clothes and we go, "It's going to be so awesome. Yeah, I'm going to have a great time." And then, we go, "Oops," and then we purge, right? It's a binge and purge kind of thing, literally. So thank you for this. And maybe this is the problem. So Charleston has down here that a bright red lip needs a flawless base of skin slash foundation, and that's a lot of effort. Um, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I have the thing is that I've got some great red lipsticks. I have a beautiful, beautiful um MAC lipstick, so it was like $50. I mean, it was not a cheap lipstick. I was like, this is going to be awesome. So great. Beautiful shade of red. Awful on me. I put it on and I went, oh no. I was like, can't believe it. And I probably should have taken it back, but I didn't because I'm like, I'll make this work. And you know what? I never made it work. Beautiful shade of lipstick. So nice. It's very similar to that. Well, I'm looking at it on my screen. You don't see it. Very similar to what Taylor Swift was wearing in that photograph. And it just didn't work. And here's the thing. I had mentioned color theory, and I'm not going to go into this. I'd love to, but I'm just not an expert. But the base color of your skin makes a difference. Whether you have more of a reddish tint to your skin or a bluish tint to your skin makes a huge difference. And the makeups that you can use, the colors that you would use, are different. One will look great with one type of skin. Some makeup will look great and they'll look awful with the other. Believe it or not, black liquid eyeliner looks pretty good with any skin color. One more plug. So is that what it is? Is it do I just need foundation? Because I never wear foundation. Because there's another thing I could probably bring up. Used to be I'd spend about an hour putting on makeup because I'm putting on some foundation. I was doing a little contouring, around the top here, maybe a little on the nose or something. I had some highlighter, right? The kids on TikTok are putting the highlighter on the edge of their nose so that they look like bunny rabbits kind of thing. I don't know where, you know what I mean, hopefully. So he's doing all the things. And at one point I was like, "Ooh, I got to get out the door. Crap, I forgot to put on makeup." And I went and put on, I was just, oh my God, what am I going to do? So I put on some eyeliner, some mascara. I wasn't wearing eyelashes at that point. I ran out the door. I got home and I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, same thing. I went, really? I'm like, I could take 10 minutes to put on makeup and that's it. I've since refined that. I started using something called a color corrector. That's something because I have kind of purpley under my eyes. So I use a color corrector, a little bit of foundation around my eyes, some eyeliner, some fake eyelashes, and then I'm done. If I'm not going to wear glasses, if I wear contact lenses, I'll put some tinted eye gel on my lashes, brows. Put it some tinted eye brow gel. Wow, some tinted brow gel on my eyebrows. Um, that's it. Because I just at this point, I'm in my 50s. It's really not worth, in my opinion, killing myself too hard over this. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe I just need to play with foundation. It's not worth it for bright red lipstick. That's it. And here you go. Thank you for bringing up goth lips. Did you ever try that liquid eyeliner thing? You should do it. Holy cats. That is absolutely a Skilo reference. I don't know if anybody caught that except for King Artemis, which I've seen a photograph of you. You look 40 years my junior. Maybe not 40, but yeah. How does that go? I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl with a phone I would call her. Thank you, my friend. You are now You are now my number one friend. I think you got displaced, Margie. Sorry. Shouldn't have brought him in. Um, so I'm going to agree with this. So where Angela says over 30 years of transition, your style changes. I think over your entire life. Right now this purple thing with the bangs is going fine. Even over the course of 3 years, well, almost, yeah, 3 years, I've had this hairstyle. I had the bangs longer because somebody says, "Oh, grow them longer. It'll look more flowing and more natural." And I did that for a while. If you look at older videos of mine, you can go, oh, "What happened?" Because I think I look better with the shorter bangs. I've had my hair longer and shorter. Now I try to go about chin length. I've changed my makeup. My clothes have changed several times. I was wearing loose flowing pants type thing. I said before I never wear pants, but when I was first transitioning, pants. Now I wear skirts all the time. So anyway, I do. So here's a great point. Margie says if you use bright red liquid lipstick. Now, liquid lipstick. So this can be dangerous, by the way, because I have done this kind of thing. I've done this with liquid eyeliner too, where you're holding like a brushy type, like an applicator, and you go, oh crap, and then you go, I can't believe it. Now you got to go change your skirt. Be careful with that. That's why I use a table now, and I'm always pulled all the way in. So if I drop something, it lands on the table. Anyway, liquid lipstick. Margie says she sets the lipstick with, excuse me, with eyeshadow. Let me cough really fast. She says she sets the lipstick with eyeshadow, which doesn't have to be red, and that means that you can actually add blue, red, darker stuff. If you add something lighter, you get I guess it's called a tint. If you add something darker, it's a shade. So it is kind of fun, to be able to do those things. Just playing around with them. That's all you can do. Rainbow Wolf. Oh my gosh. Did we have a? We had. Oh, thank you. Margie used the band hammer. Rainbow Wolf. Doesn't that sound like he should have been pretty nice? Rainbow Wolf? I don't know. Anyway, bro. I'm assuming bro. I don't know why. Um, what are we doing? So here we are talking about here we are talking about so voice training. Voice training is I think it's I've written an article about this. I wrote an article on my own website at this point. And I know I have mentioned on the program here on the live stream that there's a more academic version of that coming out. And I did a live stream that was sort of the notes that went to write this. Voice training for transgender women, in my opinion, ends up not being about technique. This was my experience and may not be yours. When I've spoken to other people, the experience seems to hold pretty true. Um, it's not about technique. Most of it is about being able to trust that you're allowed to do something, which is kind of fascinating. Um, and when I say trust that you're, jeez, I'm coughing again. Give me a sec. Okay, I'm back. Um, trust yourself to do something means that you need to be able to believe that you're allowed to sound a certain way. And I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, if I didn't sound like in some way kind of gruff or manly or whatever, people would go, "What's all that about? What are you, gay?" And that hurt. And so we have to get over that. The thing is that those scars run very deep, really, really deep. And so I think that voice training is so difficult, specifically for transgender women, because we have so many issues with social norms. So many people who are going to tell us we're wrong. So, anyways, voice training. Where are we? How lame do you have to be to troll a live stream like this? Oh my goodness. Artemis, it's so weird. I do not understand. People who are just like, oh yeah, I totally have to go in and tell somebody they're ugly, they're wrong, whatever. It's like, why? What are you doing? What's in your life that you have to go in and cut the heads off of others in order to feel taller? Like that's a bummer. Um, my goodness, I did not even think about this. Here's Angela. So Angela, you remember transitioned early. It was like last. It was actually the last century, if you can believe it. It's not as funny anymore. It's 2026. When it was like 2002, and you go, "Oh my gosh, that was all the way in the last century." People went, "No, nobody was around then." Oh wait, it's 2002. Oh, I guess people were around. Anyway, the hardest part, Angela said, was the communal changing rooms. I think that would be difficult today. Oh my gosh. Um, Jason, oh my gosh. First of all, it's been 14 minutes, so forgive me for taking so long to get. Oh gosh, I didn't know I was taking so much time to go through these comments. I'll go faster. Jason, I will do this. I will make the list of steps available. Thank you for saying that. I will put it on my website and I'll put a link in the description. Um, hopefully, Jason, you're still here. All right, I'm gonna start going through these a little more quickly. So here you go. So Ella says she doesn't have a steady hand. Liquid liner is challenging. Yeah, I'm with you. Um, oh my gosh. Holy cats. Look, it is Lino. Hi, Lino. I don't know if you're still here. That was 12 minutes ago. So hi. Here's a um here's a great point. Look at this. So Ella says she lucked out in the eyelash department. Um my eyelashes are not bad, but they're blonde. That's the thing. And so it really takes mascara. Another thing I'll bring up, um, and this is well, Margie brings it up too, because here you go. So Margie says she didn't luck out, so her lashes were thin and short and blonde. Eyelash serum. Um, you can get something called Grande Lash, is what it's called. Grande Lash. It does take something like I don't know 2 months. It probably took 2 months to grow a whole bunch more lashes on my eyes. Um, so that helps a lot. I would actually recommend you do that no matter what, because like having healthy eyelids when you're trying to do anything, it's not really eyelids, but like that spot in between your actual eye and I mean it's called the water line. If you were going to put like a white on it, which a lot of people will do to make their to make their eyes stand out a little bit more, you'll put a white on the bottom that's a water line. It's a similar thing on the top. So when you want those to be healthy because they help keep your eyes clean first of all, and they also have oil glands in them, and those oil glands keep your eyes healthy. So a serum's good no matter what. My rant's over. And I agree with Angela here. If you can't afford like a professional makeup artist, you can go to like a cosmetic counter, and they can be very accepting. When I first started getting my eyebrows done, this was in 2020, might have been 2022. I wasn't very femme presenting. I know I had changed my name, so it was after November 2022, if nothing else. But there was somebody named Emily, and I went in there, and she was like, "Oh, you are Amethysta," and I said, "I am Amethysta," and she said, "Well, cool. Can I show you some things?" And I was like, "Sure. What do you want to show me?" So she showed me all kinds of great brow stuff. She showed me mascara stuff. She kind of walked me through the store. And I think that's awesome. If you can go into a makeup store, a dedicated makeup store, and find somebody who's not going to be a jerk. And I think that's most of them, because I think if you go to a makeup shop, if you're going to work there, um, you're probably aware that there are some funky people out there. Yeah, and they don't even have to be transgender. There's some crazy people that you go, that's a lot of makeup. I can't. Why are you doing that? So, I think it's worthwhile going even just to a makeup shop and saying, tell me what you got. Because a lot of those people have a little bit of cosmetology training, if nothing else. So some of that's good. What else do we have? So here you go. Angela says she can do basic makeup in 10 minutes, but it took her 20 years to get there. Yes, yes. I have I have the whole thing down now, and it's about 10 minutes. Um, Funny rabbits on TikTok sounds like an Alice in Wonderland chapter. You know what I mean, though, right? You see it's like 12-year-old girls, and they have highlighter on the end of their nose. I don't know. I don't think they look like this, but they're trying to do. They kind of look like bunny rabbits, too, right? No? Yes? Oh well. Oh, thank you. Charleston says I wouldn't have believed you didn't wear foundation because my skin looks great. I've been told that. I got very lucky, first of all, with skin, and estrogen has been really, really good to me. Estrogen made my skin so much nicer. I don't know why I have to do this, but my skin got so much nicer with estrogen, and I was like, this is the best. I will always love to have this. Oh, Charleston's going. Okay, bye. Oh my gosh, look, Emma's here. Hi, Emma. Uh-oh. Oh no, there we go. Here's an interesting point. Sorry, I didn't go through all of these because I'm trying to plow through a couple of comments here. Um, Margie says the trick for hiding shadow is to use a pink or orange powder on foundation because it scatters light before it reaches the hair. So we're actually talking about like if you have a little bit of shadow. You can use a color corrector for that. The orange or the pink makes some sense. Like the color corrector I use is peach. It's not for shadow because I don't have a lot of hair, and what I do have is white because I'm old. Um, what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah. The purple under my eyes though is kind of similar to like a shadow, like a 5 o'clock shadow. So the point is that even if you don't scatter the light, if you use a color corrector, what you can do is actually counteract the pigment that's in your skin and the hair that's around your skin. You can counteract that with something on top of it. So a color corrector is a very highly pigmented bit of schmutz. Technical there. You don't use a lot of it, right? The point is not to use a lot of it, and then you have to put foundation over it because otherwise you'll look like an idiot. You don't just put color corrector down because people will go, "What are you, like a raccoon?" If I just did that. I love to use what's called a stippling brush. I'm sure Margie knows what I mean with a stippling brush, but I'm not gonna go and get it. But it's kind of this big round flat thing, and that stippling brush is sort of like a sponge. But I love the brush because it's actually more to me, it's more like it's easier to move stuff around. So that's me. But oh, and Ella, I'm sure glad I didn't read this. That Ella has super sensitive skin and can't layer product. I'm glad I read that before I went, going through the whole shebang there. Sorry, babe. Oops, wait, here we go. So Ella says she went into voice training as a singer, so you'd think that she'd get it faster than most. What's interesting is that when I had a speech language pathologist explain what she wanted me to change, or in order to feminize something, when she said, "I want you to do this," I immediately went, "Oh, it's like the chorus of this one song." And interestingly, I realized I got to figure out how to back into this. So the SLP that I went to, her name is Allison. If you're out there, Allison, hi. You're not, I know. But the point was that this SLP that I went to is a huge Pearl Jam fan. Now you're going, where's this story going? If you listen to that original album, 10, I guess it's called, a lot of the choruses there, specifically on Alive, play a lot with resonance. Now his pitch is very low, right? Like if you listen to Alive, you go, well, that's not a feminine sound. Nobody plays a lot with resonance, especially there's that little break in the middle where he uses kind of a high pitched thing, is something wrong, she said, and then changes the resonance. Of course there is. Anyway, those were the things that I thought about. Um, my own songs that I had written, first of all, choruses that I had written, and then other musicians. And so I don't know. You would think that they'd get it faster than most, but what I had to I had to understand what the hell she was talking about first, because I didn't. At first, I'm like, I don't know. What am I moving? You want me to move my throat? You want me to move my whole voice box? That doesn't make sense. But then I understood once I thought about an actual like piece of music that did that. Um, and I like this. I think this is true. Voice training is definitely about practice. I think it is also a lot about muscle memory. Uh, Angela now says she can't use her old voice anymore as it hurts. Um, I hear that. It's kind of crazy to have gotten to that point, but there you go. Um, Here you go. Thank you, Ella. Oops, sorry, Victoria. This is what I was trying to say. The microorganisms on your lashes. If you have oily schmutzy stuff, this is the international sign for oily schmutzy stuff. If you have the oily schmutzy stuff, it keeps your eyes themselves healthier, and so that's important. And it includes microorganisms and other. That's the schmutzy stuff, right? So you have oil, and then schmutzy stuff. That's the microorganisms. Oh gosh, Artemis says listening to people talking about doing makeup makes them want to learn, but also makes them more scared of it. Oh, I'm gonna tell you, it is so much fun. I mean, when I was a kid, and honestly, a kid, I don't know, 10 years old, I just loved playing with it. I love just, I don't think my mom was very happy. I'm sure my mom wasn't happy, and then my sisters later on, but I just loved playing with it because it was like, what could I make myself look like? And what's so weird is you can do a ton of stuff with makeup. Um, I'm not going to go off on much of a rant. I know a lot of people who have gotten facial feminization surgery. I don't know much about it. I didn't get it. I haven't studied it. The place that I can represent for surgery, not about facial feminization surgery, or at least I wouldn't talk about it. Um, but you can do so many crazy things just with contouring, with contour and with highlighter. You can make your nose look dramatically different, really, really dramatically different. Pretty crazy. Uh, anyway, so I do agree. Trial and error. Do it by yourself. Do it by yourself. That's a good way to do it too, because then you can put it on, take it off, and put it on. And if somebody you're not going to have somebody walk in who's going to go, "Oh my gosh, that was awful. What did you do?" Um, Here's one. Okay, here you go. Actually, this leads into the last thing I wanted to say. Margie says here's a good tip. If you're going to use eyeshadow, rather than use the little crappy swabs, which are crappy. I mean, agreed. Crappy swabs are crappy. Um, where did it go? Use a chisel tip artist's brush. I am going to tell you, I think one of the best investments you can make, um, if you want to learn how to do makeup, the best investment you can make is a set of brushes, a decent set of brushes. I use I have a set of brushes I've now had for about 3 years. Yeah, because I believe Emily, it might have been Emily who helped me find them. I don't remember. Well, no, it was the makeup artist. Anyway, the point is that you can get a really good set of brushes by Morphe. They have two different sets. One is like one that has more macro brushes and one that's more uh, micro brushes. So I think they have like a specific eye set of brushes and then like a bigger face set of brushes. And I don't think there's anything I am lacking. I did end up buying like a powder puff, like a fluffy puffy thing. Fluffy puffy for your microorganism schmutz. Um, I did do that, but like those two things together were like $30, maybe 40. But those but brushes make a tremendous amount of difference. Using the swabs like the silly little, what did I call them? The crappy swabs. If you have a good brush, it makes all the difference in the world. And that's part of why I am so fond of liquid eyeliner is I found something with a great brush on it. Used to be it was what was that? Wet and Wild. Wet and Wild that I got down at the Harris Teeter in Athens, Georgia. Yep. Um, and it was this short little cap with a short little thing and a very small brush, and it was awesome. Or it was awful. It was really, really bad. And maybe that's why, now I'm okay with it, but ooh, there you go. Oh, Artemis says he's a pastel goth. I I think that's what I call myself too. It hurts to say that too, knowing that I used to make fun of the pastel goths like 30 years ago. Right now there's going to be some pastel goth that'll come back to me and go, "Uh-huh, thought it was funny 30 years ago. What do you think now?" Right, Artemis says he'll poke himself in the eye constantly. I think that's going to be what the pastel goths would do to me. You thought you were funny 30 years ago making fun of us. Oh my God, why'd you do that? I was wearing glasses. I'm going to have to wipe that off. What were you doing? There you go. So here we go. So yeah, Angela brings it up. True. Yeah, you need to get a good set of brushes. Where was the? Here we go. This is fascinating. And Angela's mother bought her vanity case, which she still uses today. I'm curious how old. I'm curious how old that is, because that's amazing. Um, what all this? Margie loves all my rigorous technical language. I know. It's funny. Okay, here we go. Oh my gosh. Now we're going to talk about scents. Underrated vehicle. So mac and cheese. Oh, first of all, I've never seen you before. Hello. Mac and cheese is an underrated vehicle of gender affirmation, femme or masc perfume. Yeah, depending on your presentation. Um, I agree with that so much. I agree with that so much. There's a um there's a friend of mine. It's not important who it is. It's gonna sound name droppy if I say the name, but he is huge into scents. And when I first met him, uh, he was wearing something that I just went, "Oh my God, what is that?" I was like, "What are you wearing?" And he goes, "Oh, it's oud." And I went, "Oud? What the hell's oud?" I don't know. Still don't know what oud was. I don't know that I would want to wear oud, but it smelled so good on him. It made me kind of, a little bit weak in the knees, going, "Hmm, yeah, it's great." Anyway, what I do, because for my own self, and you're gonna go, could you be any more stereotypical? No, I use lavender oil because it's purple. It's not. That's the sad thing, right? The flowers are. This oil is not. But I've always loved the smell of lavender, so I just use lavender oil on myself. I just put it. I also heard that lavender oil might have, some sort of, you know, sterone type structure things. What are they called? Like estrogen, type structures. And so, if you do a little massage, it just happens. So I'm just saying. Anyway, by the end of the day, like when I lie down and I'm reading, because I'm always reading with my head propped against a wall, so my face is stuck right in my cleavage, because apparently it's that high. The point is that the smell once it's actually on me is so. Mm, I will so agree. A good scent is just amazing, just amazing. I love this. I love my Old Spice Dragon Blast. There is something about Old Spice. It's kind of weird because you kind of go, I don't know, should I like this? And then you go, yeah, it smells like a man. Wait, that was something else, but very much. Well, thank you. Look, Mac and Cheese says I popped up on their recommendations. So cool. Oh gosh, Angela's had her vanity case for 35 years. That's awesome. So totally true. HRT changed my smell so much. Um, I forgot. I forgot to put on deodorant. I don't know. Saturday? I don't know when. Friday. It must have been. think I forgot to put it on Friday. I put on my lavender oil, but I woke up Saturday and I was like, oh, I'm a little stinky, but not like stinky boy stinky. I love that. The early stages of HRT, getting rid of that stinky boy smell. There you go. Um, anyway, so thank you. Margie brought up the Discord thing, which again shows like poo on the thing here. I'll have to change the styles. But yeah, if you've appreciated any of this, please join our Discord. That's purplepawclan.com/Discord, and then you can hang out with all of us here. All right. Oh my gosh. Which, by the way, oh look at this. Oh gosh, I'm never gonna end. So Artemis says he wears a Hello Kitty bubblegum perfume. I kind of like that. I had what the hell was it called? Love's Baby Soft? Yes. Love's Baby Soft. When I was in high school, it was like, oh, I hate that. It's so awful. And so now, 16,000 years later, after I've graduated, out of high school, I think it's been about 16,000 years, I was walking somewhere and smelled it and went, what is that delicious smell? And I went, son of a bitch, that's Love's Baby Soft. I went, how in the world did I end up liking this? I hate myself for liking it. I think it's a Joan Jett song. Hate myself for loving you? I think so. Um, all right, here we go. It is 6:37. I wasn't sure how long how long I was gonna go. Um, Thank you so much for all of this lovely conversation. I absolutely love talking about my experience, hearing your experience. Uh, oh boy, Mac and Cheese says the Dragon Blast is kind of neutral. Their father said it made them smell like a puppy. I know a lot of transgender girls who would really like to smell like a puppy. So perfect for them if you're hearing this. There you go. All right, I'm going to shut it down now. My voice is getting a little bit tired here, so thank you so much, Margie. Thank you so much for your moderation, for moderating things. Good to see Emma. Good to see Mac and Cheese. Good to see Ella and the and Elle and all the others. I'm always amazed that I get to do this, like and people actually come and listen. So thank you so much. Love to all of you. Love yourself. And we will see you on. Well, here we go. Guess what? On Friday, I have another video coming out. I put out a video last Friday about being born in the wrong body, and I got a whole lot of feedback on that. So I'm going to make another one that follows up and clarifies at least one point in there about being born in the wrong body. So I have that coming out on Friday. Saturday is Pi Day. So I got a video for Pi Day. It's probably what you're thinking. And then on Sunday, we'll be back with another, because Saturday I have the Pi Day thing, not a transgender joy. And then on Sunday, we'll be back here doing a live stream, and that'll be March 15th. We're going to have Margie on, and we're going to talk about cycling HRT. So stick around for that one. Come back for that one on Sunday. So thank you again, and we'll see you soon. Talk soon. Bye.